Yeah, the farmers, they're not happy. And this is just a small sampling of the last 30 days. So if your head is doing this, it's for good reason. And it's not, and that's just a sampling, mind you. I'm sure I left out some important things. So today, before we start honoring our country and our flag, I've asked Kathy Moriarty to sing us in. Thank you, Kathy.
Stand up and fight for me. Stand up and fight for you. Stand up and fight for me. Stand up. We paid in blood to be here. We hold these truths to be obvious. To live a life of love and liberty, in the pursuit of some kind of happiness. Stand up and fight for me. Stand up and fight for you. Stand up and fight for me. Stand up. We paid in blood for these rights. Nothing here came for free. For rule by law, we have struggled. For all of us, justice and liberty. Stand up and fight for me. Stand up and fight for you. Stand up and fight for me. Stand up, yes. Please sing with me. Stand up and fight for me. Stand up and fight for you. Stand up and fight for me. Stand up.
Sarah Metcalf will now take over as our moderator because you've had enough of me.
I don't know about that. Hi, I'm Sarah Metcalf, and I'm shadowing Diane. I will do my best. So we'll begin hearing from our speakers, the leaders of different groups in the area. First up, from the UU Justice Advocacy Team, we'd like to hear from Peggy, Mark, and what's going on there.
Morning. Can y'all hear me? Okay, good. Deep breath. Y'all know me, I think. If you don't, I'm Mark or Peggy, whichever you prefer. I am one of the leaders of the U's Justice Advocacy Team. And my short, sweet message today is help. Today marks the opening of our Rainbow Cafe. Following this meeting from 1 to 4 in our Murray room. It is a cafe that we hope becomes a safe haven for the LGBTQ community, especially our trans folks who right now are being persecuted terribly. We're hoping that allies will also be coming with the community and that they can help us run this little cafe. We've got 5 folks right now that are the core to this, but there's always things to do, or you can just, get the word out for us that there is a safe place here, the 3rd Saturdays of the month from 1 to 4. So, thank you.
Thank you. So it's great the Rainbow Cafe will be on the same day as Firewall. So we're pleased to be able to kick that off today. So the second speaker will talk about, will be representing Roswell Park. So that's Dawn Tucker.
Hello, everyone. Hi. The government has been unfunding a lot of grants that have been already approved for many research projects. Roswell Park has tentatively lost over $12 million in grants. Two of the grants that they did get terminated, one was for looking at disparities in prostate cancer between Black Americans and the rest of the population, and they were told that that was inappropriate to do that. The other grant that just got terminated was looking at vaccines for HPV, Gardasil vaccines. They had a big project for looking at how to improve vaccination rates in the southern tier and outside in more rural New York. And they got a phone call that basically said one sentence: "We do not do vaccines." So that's where it's at. So Roswell needs all our help. The Ride for Roswell is next Saturday. Any dollars, any money they can get will help them survive this whole process. Tammy Beckworth is riding with me. Tammy, can you stand? She's over there. She's looking for donations towards her ride. You can also talk to me afterwards on how to donate. Any money we can get. Last year they donated, we got over $5 million, and we're trying to increase that this year so that we can help Roswell as best we can. Okay? End of my talk.
Thanks, Don. So the next group will be represented by Mimi, is it Picciulo, will speak on behalf of the Western New York Overpass Bridge Brigade.
Hi, everybody. So many of you have already attended the Bridge Brigade, and I appreciate that. We were there last night, and then we'll be there again next Friday, and next Friday we'll start our every other week rotation. We're going to skip 4th of July. We're on Cleveland Drive overpass over the 290, where the 290 comes into the 90 merge. So, and we're there during rush hour, 4 to 6 p.m. So we catch it when traffic is starting to bog down. We're also at Genesee Street, just a few overpasses down where it really bogs down. It's just not as convenient to get on that overpass. Cleveland Drive, if you need a short walk, it's very close. Parking is right there, and the bridge has nice wide sidewalk and a half wall. So it's a really nice place to reach out to literally thousands of people that are going by. So we have all kinds of messaging, whatever important to you, and then people who are driving over the overpass are also seeing our messaging. And for me, it really feeds me, because as we know, the barrage of awful and ugly that we're hit with every day with this administration can really wear you down. But the overpass is the place where you get fed, because all those cars driving underneath you who are honking and giving you a thumbs up, now you get some middle fingers too, but that's at a minimum compared to the people that are cheering you on. And so it helps me feel like we're not alone in this. It's not just us. There's so many people out there who are allied with us, who just maybe aren't able to get to a protest, or maybe they do, but they see us there. So if you have people in your family or your group who we need to get to that 3.5%, this is an easy way to do it, because it's easy to get to. You can even bring a chair. So if you have older folks or handicapped folks who can't do a distance or a march, or some people are, anxious about going into the city or finding parking for whatever reason, the overpass protest is a really awesome option. We have a Facebook group that you have to be in. You can request to join it. It's a private group. It's WNY Overpass Bridge Brigade. is the site. So please join us. Please consider coming out. It really is fun. We're having a lot of fun. We had a bugle player there yesterday. I've got everybody whistles, so if we have a counter protester or somebody who's getting things a little hanky up there, we can alert each other so we know that something's going on. So we've been safe up there. We've had just a couple incidents where people were a little, off the side there, but nothing too bad. So I love it. So I hope you guys come and join us. If you've been there, would you raise your hand if you've been somebody that's been there? Oh, look how many of you. That's awesome. Thank you. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Mimi. Let me reset so I can time myself. So I will be representing the Elbows Up for Canada on behalf of Ted and Kate, who are serving as peacekeepers in the rally downtown, and they needed to be there early. And I know they weren't the only ones from our group, so great to those of you who are peacekeepers. And if you're participating in the rally, make sure to mind the peacekeepers and not engage with counter-protesters. All right, so Elbows Up for Canada. What we started here in Buffalo on April 2nd has now grown to a coalition of organizations from Skagway, Alaska to Grand Falls, Maine. On Saturday, July 5th, we will line the longest open border in the world in solidarity and friendship with our Canadian allies and neighbors. In Buffalo, right. In Buffalo and Niagara Falls, Good Neighbors Getting It Done, Power to the People, Western New York, and the Western New York Peace Center will peacefully rally to say, we oppose President Trump's arbitrary tariffs and his predatory threats to annex Canada as the 51st state. We oppose creating a false emergency on the border as a pretext to invoke the Insurrection Act. The tariffs have already cost $34 billion in lost sales and higher costs, according to Reuters. Border communities benefit immensely from our partnerships with one another. We have each other's backs. The damage done to the relationship and the economy of border communities is palpable. The trust violated is profound. We will rally at Freedom Park from 11 to 1 on July 5th, that's a Saturday, and we will also be at Terrapin Point in Niagara Falls from 8 p.m. until sunset that evening. We invite you to join us at either or both as works best for you. And I don't know if this is confirmed yet, but I understand there has been a request to have special lighting on Niagara Falls that evening. So in addition to those events on July 5th, there will be a poster making session in preparation for it. That will be Tuesday, July 1st from 4 to 6 at Dashes on Hurdle, second floor location. And and there's flyers in the literature area behind, as you're on your way out, sort of behind the front desk on the way out. You will find flyers and some little stickers for the Elbows Up out there. All right. Okay, so next up about the community garden is Linda, is it Joy? Linda Joy. Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Linda Joy Grote, and I'm a member of UU Amherst. And I'd like to invite you to take a look at our community garden. It's right outside the front porch area here, where we have, well, it's hard to describe, but when you come up the driveway, you will be able to see our food pantry and our clothing ministry, and right in front of that is our community garden. We've had some raised beds, elevated beds, which are waist height, donated by an anonymous donor, very generous, and we filled them with all kinds of vegetables, and we're really excited about that. Plus we have some ground beds, and we're working on a native perennial flower garden right in the front of that space. So what I'm looking for is anyone that's interested in participating in this community garden. If you are interested, you can email me at uuamherstconnections@gmail.com. And my name is Linda Joy Grote, and if you're interested, you could just let me know. Thank you.
Thank you. So now we will hear from Good Neighbors Getting It Done in Western New York. So this is a group I represent, but I'd like to invite my co-leader, Kathleen King, to come and speak to our burning issue, due process.
Hi. Like Diane, I've been very fired up the last couple of days, hard to sleep, just, whatever. And I have to turn things into action. Many of you probably already know that the one big, beautiful budget bill has a clause in it that says that makes it very hard for the judges to hold federal officials in contempt of court. Now, it has nothing to do with the budget, it has everything to do with the big plan. That's right, there's no accountability, not for Trump, not for his minions. I want to take you back to 2024 when Donald Trump was campaigning and there was a bipartisan immigration bill that was about to pass, and he did kill the bill. Hopefully you guys remember that. It wasn't just to gin up votes for him, although that was the first step in the plan, but it was a bigger plan to use immigrants to take down our judicial system. Would the American system, would the Republican Party let him ignore the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution and round up thousands of people without due process, to deprive them of life, liberty, and property without due process? The administration can break the law. When the courts say stop, they ignore him. They can stall. They can pass, nothing, go on appeals, and wait long enough for Congress to change the law like they did in this budget bill. So Good Neighbors was contacted by an indivisible group in Saratoga Springs, and they asked for help for a particular individual, Yuri Zignoviev. He was taken by ICE in that area and transported to the detention center in Batavia. He had been attending a meeting every 6 months for 12 years, and ICE decided this was the time that he was, to be considered basically trash, and we're going to just round you up and take you. They asked, could we do something? The first Zoom meeting is our first Good Neighbors podcast. If you want to check that out and learn his story, that's on our website. We worked with groups in Batavia. We made call and email scripts. We asked our members to contact all of the pertinent representatives, and we had a protest. I thought we had a slide about the protest. I'm not sure that we do. But we protested on June 13th against ICE, for Yuri, and for due process. And there's some links to the news coverage for that on our website as well, if you're interested. But that same week, ICE went into LA, it went into Omaha, it went into our churches, it went into our schools, it even went into our children's hospital here in Buffalo. Illegally rounding up thousands of people. Donald Trump illegally took over the National Guard in California. Pete Hegseth illegally sent the military to take down Americans. And Kristi Noem negated the votes of the people by saying that the administration was liberating LA from its governor and mayor. She said that was a blueprint of the administration to take over wherever they don't like what's being done, So what can we do? One, don't forget about Yuri. I just heard this morning as well from people who have been able to speak to him. He has a roommate who is, or a cellmate, I should say. Roommate sounds posh, doesn't it? That is 75 years old and has been in the country for over 60 years. So they have very difficult living conditions, but they ask that we write to them. That shows the detention center people that people are caring about these individuals, and just write support. Just tell them, we're not forgetting about you. We're working for your freedom. And, do it repeatedly, every few months. We'll try to come up with names and numbers if we can. You have to have a number. There is Yuri's number and name is out there and his address. Demand that our representatives change the narrative. You can't give me a hook. Stop playing on Trump's playground. It's not about immigration. It's never been about immigration. It's about justice. It's about this man's thirst for power, the takedown of the rule of law. Tell them what to do. Don't just tell them that you're mad. Tell them what to do. Tell them to start speaking about ICE as Trump's Gestapo, because that's what it is. Find the stories that change the hearts and mind and be relentless. Stand up for your community. Find people in your neighborhood that may be on tenuous circumstances. There's information about what to tell them, how to change their phone so that ICE cannot access it, but they can contact their emergency contacts should they be detained. And there's also red cards that can be available in any kind of language that tell people what to do should ICE approach or come to their door. There's information on our website about that. And we are also looking into starting a rapid response team. It's not set up yet, but if you're interested, please email our Good Neighbors Getting It Done. And that's also on our flyer, which is here. And it's on the
Which
table.
is at the literature table, yes. So I just want to, just to add to what Kathleen said. So we have handouts on the table with a link and QR code to access freshly updated recommended scripts for contacting representatives. So as far as the action for this and for writing to Yuri, there's not a script for that, but just the address to reach Yuri, and then recommendations. We have a couple of, in addition to the scripts, a website with resources for reaching out to members of your community who may be affected. And we also recommend staying informed. I know the Investigative Post, who we had speak here, was it February, I think, has been writing important stories about what's going on. And we will, so Good Neighbors after this main part will meet, and for those who are not going on to the rally, we will talk about how to form this rapid response network and so forth. I know we're over time. Yes. So then so next up we have Luke Eichelberger. Yes, and Luke, I guess you will share an original poem.
I also have something that hi everyone. So I have a poem that I'd like to share that I wrote I think like 2 weeks ago maybe. It's not overtly political, it's more kind of like social and economic. I think it might resonate in this room, and you know, it might make some people a little upset too, but that's what art does sometimes. So we'll see. Okay, so this is called Fool's Gold. My vision, bright, burning, I see the galactic connections that most overlook. A burden, the pattern striking few others see than punctures. Broken trends, but why? The lacing, dissimilar into one. Unity in exploitation everywhere. I don't think this way, but everyone else does. What can I extract from someone else to fill a soul with false reassurance, never satisfied? The more to have, the more to want. Trust abandoned without financial exchange. Back to me. My word is gold. It doesn't matter. I have to prove it isn't fool's, even though it's ironclad and always will be. Theft is assumed. Labor theory of value unravels under scrutiny. Value comes from power, and power from mirage, manipulation. Deception is all that matters. Fancify yourself into a corporate shill, convincing others you have only the best ideas until the lowwards yield. Now you've 300 times on them. This arrangement, fragile, bursting at the seams. Will the cracks erupt into earthquakes? Within a generation, I fear they will. Thank you.
Thank you, Luke. All right, so next we, on behalf of Braver Angels, we will hear from Jen Borgioli. Venice, all right, great.
So hello. So again, on behalf of Braver Angels, Braver Angels is a 401c3b, I think either 501, non-for-profit group whose only goal is the depolarization of Americans. Our entire charge is just to bring people together to have conversations. So we had our first meeting in East Aurora. We had over 30 people show up, all of whom were blue. And it was lovely. We had a great conversation. But one of the hosts was actually red. And when he introduced himself, he shared that he was red. And before he even finished his sentence, one of the blues turned to him and said, "How can you vote for Trump? How can you support this? How can you do this?" And so there were 3 of us there from Braver Angels who all immediately stood up and said, "Oh, no, 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 no. That is not how we roll. That is not the purpose of this. You can do that. You can go to protests. You can yell other places. When you step into a Braver Angel space, you do not yell. You are not there to persuade. You are not there to change minds. Your only task is to listen." So we're still working on that. To that end, today at 1 o'clock at the Lancaster Library, we're having another informational meeting. I have invited every large church that I could think of. I went to the Eastern Hills Church. I went to as many large, popular churches I could think of to speak to the pastors to invite them. We're still working on inviting Reds. We have another meeting. If you can't make today, we have another meeting in July 15th at 7 p.m. in Clarence. We do ask that people sign up. The email address is, there's flyers in the back, but it's just WNY@braverangels@gmail. Just drop me a line. In August, we're going to start doing Braver Angels trainings. Trainings are different because you're not really there to engage with each other as much as you are to think about how you engage with the world. The training we're going to do in August is on having better conversations. So if you've ever done any work on active listening, on how to be a reflective partner, partnering back what you hear someone saying, that's the training in August. The training in September is going to be on depolarizing yourself. The goal is to try to get ourselves out of that headspace where the instant we see, a Make America Great Again hat, we think Nazi. There are benefits to thinking that. There are some very serious drawbacks if you live next door to someone and your power goes out, or you need to borrow a cup of sugar, or your kids want to play together. So August is how to have better conversations. September is on depolarizing yourself. And then in October, we're still brainstorming some options. So that is the other thing. That's kind of the bigger Braver Angels thing. So we have today, 1 p.m., Lancaster Public Library. Tuesday, July 15th, 7 p.m., and then trainings in September, October, and October geared specifically towards our fellow Blues. Okay, thank you so much.
One more thing. This Tuesday is primary voting. Early primary is today. None of this matters if we don't vote. Vote, vote, vote every time, every election.
Just to have one thing, your numbers are way off on 5,000. I get my numbers from 5051 and also verified by alternate national parks. And I just logged on and the magic.
That was the national park number I quoted.
Well,
And we're holding Donald Trump to his crazy numbers through the national parks, so that's why I reported it. You're absolutely correct in that it's hard to get a number. We don't have a sign-up sheet for 5 million people or 10 million people showing up, but we know we need more.
well, 5051 just said
Okay.
we hit 12 million, and that's key because 11.5.
Okay, we're not going to have a back and forth discussion because that's not the forum for this. I will say this, as long as you brought up the 3.5%. The 3.5% is also sustained activity. So this can't be a one-off and then we all go home and eat bonbons and it's over. It has to be sustained. So we'll all tell you when we think you can go home and rest, but not this week. Okay. That concludes the signed up speakers for our group. I have a couple requests. We want to keep this going. It's difficult to pull off a firewall every month, and we are committed to being here every third Saturday, come rain or shine, hell or high water. But I need some helpers, so if you are interested in being part of our kitchen crew, our security crew, if you are a person with really good artistic talents, we could really use you. Musicians as well. So see me after the meeting. Every one of our speakers here is interested in engaging with you on the short blurb that they gave up front here. So please, if you are interested in something that they talked about, meet them, talk to them personally, and get involved. Bring your friends. And we'll see you next month, because we're not going away. Thank you.